Mm-hmm. straight to the mall. Well, welcome to the first ever live portion of Building New Virginia. Um, so this is where I am right now. I'm just outside St. James's Place in the southeastern area of the city. Well, more of the suburbs. And just looking at this little area I detailed in. So the time-lapse footage didn't really cover a lot of what I did. Because I did a bit more than just those homes and then this area. I did do a bit more, so I just wanted to sort of like show that a bit more. So starting over here, we are at St. James's Place, which is sort of a big suburban mall with a metro station. And we're over here, and I started work a bit more on some of the areas around the mall. So I detailed up some of these buildings. And yeah, I also planted in trees, which if you notice, it's now fall. Or at least some areas are like early fall, and then others are like it's mid to late fall already. Like, it's kind of interesting because like over here as well, like this looks really great as an early fall scene, and then you just see the really high concentration over here, and it all falls apart. Um, so yeah, this is what the map looks like. And I was working down here, and I sort of started work on some more of the offices, and also adding in parking and such. I also worked on detailing up the highways, so they have things like signs, shoulders are now added, lights are now added. Oh, there's another train going overhead. These would have more signs on them. And yeah, I just sort of went through and detailed up the highways a bit. And there was one down here. I also expanded the highways. We now have I-95, which comes out over here. So this is the I-95 portal. Oh, and our CSX train is pulling in to stop. So there's the I-95 portal. And then this is the intersection between I-95 and the Beltway, which I think is 595? Oh, autosave. Okay. I think I named the Beltway 595. So it goes up from here, and this is where 170 branches off and heads south into the city. That's where that is. And then it goes around here. That's I-95. Then it hits here, which this is like, I think I-170, and then this turns into Route 1. Comes down here, and then it meets back up with I-95 over here. With this will be the southward portion, and this will go south towards like where DC is. And this is also where the southern edge city was made. This one right here. I don't remember if these were in the last one or not, but I expanded some more of the suburbs, the southern suburbs. So yeah, that's this area right here. That was one thing that happened. I've redone this area. This was rather recent. I've sort of made it a flat junction because what was there before kind of didn't make sense. And now it makes sense because this is where the main line would come. And then for the main line that goes north here, that goes to Western Station, pops out over here, then takes the tracks over here. Now this bridge has been repurposed to be CSX's main sort of like belt line. Then it comes down here, follows up here, and now it goes further. It goes over I-70, over the Beltway, and then it goes all the way over here, where the freight train is now pulling out. So that's sort of the CSX freight route, and that then also comes down here. And that will also eventually go into like DC. So there's that. So yeah, I just flattened out the junction, made it a bit more simple. Now it makes sense. However, the Riverline branch has been cut back, so what was down here has now been cut back to here. And this is just going to be a port branch that just goes down here and services the intermodal facility. So coming up here, so I want to repurpose the Western because I don't want to close out commuter service here at Western Station. So I'm thinking I'll sort of make it like the Camden line where it comes down here and then it follows this line. Follows the CSX main line and that will go down to DC. The portal's already here for freight trains at least. This is the NEC with the Acela pulling into the portal. And the other one, oh yeah, because it's non-stop, stuck behind the normal one. Start to see Western Highland here. All this in fall, which is really cool. Still lots of areas to detail up though, mostly just focused on the rail line when I originally did this area. Come down here and over here. The southeast area, I was more focused on sort of getting the urban area to that southeast. So once I gotten the east side done in the previous video, it gave me a pretty good base and I could figure out what I wanted to do with the southeast. And this area I imagine is like, this is the rough area. Don't leave station premises if you're traveling through here. Just stay underground. So I finally got sort of the character and like idea of this area nailed down with these neighborhoods, with these two developments right here. And so I could kind of keep going and I could sort of plot out neighborhoods, trying to orientate them around like how roads radiating out from the city center would look. So it's not 100, so they're not like oriented towards the riverbed, they're actually more oriented towards this area. Like, this is Lay Street, there we go. That's Lay Street. This is a blue line subway tunnel, or cutting. I just thought it would be a cool thing to have, even though it's probably really unrealistic, but who cares? That eventually stops here, which is supposed to be a suburban park and ride abomination in the middle of a really dense neighborhood. That eventually goes over to like Jefferson Square, just over there. All of these sort of tarmac areas are meant to be strip retail. Oh yeah, I did put the man there. Then over here, I wanted to have a transition to more sort of suburban style development, like you see around many mid-Atlantic cities like Philadelphia and Baltimore, where like areas that are post-war, not all of them are like single-family homes like over here. Like this is post-war, but there were also seems to be a large amount of row houses that still were developed in the post-war. So I kind of wanted to represent that. So I sort of worked out a few sort of like trial runs where I sort of detailed them up, and these are like really detailed. Probably more so than I'll ever do in any other development. And then same thing over here. This is a duplex neighborhood because of the two doors, right? And so this area is also one that's like a trial run where I really put all my work into detailing these up. And I think it came out pretty well. It looks pretty realistic. And then here's some more of the buildings. And yeah, this is sort of like going to be a transition area between the denser areas of the row houses to the more suburban areas like out here. And so yeah, I've made really good progress. This is Western Orbital Boulevard. I don't have a full name, but it's gonna be something like that. This is inspired by Roosevelt Boulevard in Philadelphia, which is like this older but like still no less insanely car-oriented street that has service lanes and then 4 express lanes, but it's all at grade and there's no grade separation for the express travel lanes. So what you get is like this absolute pain in the butt to cross road, because you have to cross 4 lanes of one-way local traffic. Well, no, 2 lanes of one-way local traffic. 4 lanes of 2-way express traffic, and then 2 lanes of one-way local traffic. And that's just across this street. So obviously this is like extremely hostile to pedestrians. So yeah, this area is like a big transition area. Also really using those new building block mods we got. So these are really cool. I can actually make a bit more detail on some buildings, really using also the aircon stuff, those assets, to sort of detail them up so so they look a bit better than, say, like just blocks with nothing on them, like over here. Like I should probably put some stuff on these right here, and that will make them a bit more like building feeling. Yeah. So that's this area. You can see the transition here as well with the amount of parking lots. You have a small gas station with not a gas station sign. There's still some sort of like older style retail, but a lot of it is now being turned into parking lots. And this will only become true the further away we get from the city center. So, yeah. This is sort of like the main area, and I want to replicate these neighborhoods a bit more. This river right here, at least, we're kind of hitting the southern edge of the boundaries of the city, I think, on this creek slash like river inlet. And I want this to feel a bit more industrious. I kind of want to make it look like what, if you ever cross 495, not 495, 395 around Shirlington, you can see sort of like all these industries. I kind of want to create that sort of feel of like industries going up a small creek valley, but I'm not sure how I want to accomplish that because there's like no railroad branch that has existed here, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm not sure. Then there's also the Southport area, which I still need to do. Once I can figure out sort of Southport, I think the rest of this area will come along very well, because that's just a quick transition of doing more of what I've already figured out how to do here, down here, more of what I've already figured out to do here and here, around here, and then sort of trying to do some more transitioning of older single-family home suburbs like these. And this will sort of be sprinkled in around here, and sort of like there's a transition between the dense urban core of the city center, and then it turns into row house suburbia, then like even more suburban row houses and duplexes to actual single family homes, but they're still kinda on a grid, kinda. And then that will turn into just normal sprawl, which will encompass most of this region around here. And yeah, that's sort of all that's really happened. I also, because this is kind of a lot of work, I think, and I felt like this is enough to sort of warrant update, I created a new map stitch, so now the satellite imagery for this entire area is available. So I think I'll have it linked down below to where you can access them, but you'll be able to sort of see the entire city from up above, like up here. And so it's sort of like Google Maps, where you can like look around and zoom. I think the zoom level is only about this far, so this is as far as you can zoom in, so you can't really get any closer. But, you know, it's still like pretty close actually. I can see a lot of stuff and detail-ish, kinda. It's hard. I had to keep trying to do a higher resolution, so the screenshots, each individual screenshot I think is in like 4K or something. And that's not even the highest the game can go. It can go up to 8K screenshots, but if you try and do those, that crashes your game because they're just that massive. Although the zoom would have been really great, because I think you probably would have been able to get down to at least here. And that's a really good zoom level, because like you can see most stuff happening. Like, this is acceptable for Google Maps, sort of like the satellite overlays for their cities, for not their cities, for their maps service. There we go. But it's not the biggest deal. It's sort of like a fun thing I do with the stitches, because it's always cool to sort of see the change over time in the city. And like this is probably not the biggest update, the biggest change, but it is a pretty noticeable one. And I'm hoping that this will be able to propel me a bit further so I can do a lot more with the city. And really get some progress going down here. And sort of connect up these two separate areas. Because this area, the southern areas, I seem to really have a good idea. Oh. Thanks, iPad. The southern areas, I seem to have a really good idea of what I'm doing with them. The northern areas still seem a bit eh. I've platted out some things, I just haven't really gone through and detailed them. Like, it's just, I need to do more, and I just don't really feel the inspiration to work through here and hit up northern border. Oh, and just for a moment, let me just pull up everything. I'm going to turn off everything but town names. I also expanded terraforming. So now look at this. At least up to this area, I've sort of re-terraformed most of the area. So now you can sort of see, like, there's a new valley here. Ooh. And this sort of exists now with its own highlands and areas. So there you go. Now it should be a bit easier to sort of expand to the northwest because this area was the last bit that's not really terraformed. So now it's just this area, northwest of the city. In this area, I have an idea of what I want to do with it. I sort of want to create like these really wealthy old suburbia for a bit, and also have the city reservoir up around here, which is why this river, I think it's going to be off of a tributary to this. So we'll see. The red line corridor also needs to be established, and it's kind of a bit close to the blue line right now. So I'm probably going to yeet that upwards so it can go up to like around here. And that'll be a big parking ride on the Beltway, because the Beltway's going to probably pass around here and then right around here or so. And then, I don't know, maybe the reservoir will be like around here or something. Who knows? Who knows? It'll come to me when it comes to me. I also really want to fill in this area, because this area is going to be filled with lots of more dense row house suburbs like this. And they're also going to be pretty wealthy. I mean, this is around sort of like the hospital. Yeah, University of New Virginia Hospital. And this is McNair Hill, the new McNair Hill. That's also a bit lower, but still very much on the western ridge, where Western Highland gets its name. And also I'll be able to go back and redo some of these areas, because I also have an idea of how these are supposed to look, which is really good. Who knows? Lots of places to go from. And it's going to be really helpful, because again, now I have figured out how I want these places to look. So I can have a bit of a good style going. And these will be able to start appearing wherever they need to go, which will be in lots of places. And I also did a bit more platting out on the northwest. Well, not the northwest, like the west. No, the east. It's literally right in front of me. The neighborhood's called East Broad. On the eastern edge of the city, I've done a bit more platting out. Carried like big squares. It looks kind of cool. Don't judge. It's like they bought squares of land. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, that's gonna be all for now. Up next will be the cinematics, and thank you for watching, and goodbye.